Watem here, welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. Let's just continue. Musawa had the rest of the night off. So she had let Erika talk her into drinking a bit, and was chatting about the legend of Akujishima and Beatrice in a happy, tipsy mood. Erika would nod from time to time. Besides this, she listened in complete silence. She wasn't actually taking notes, but she was gathering information on the whiteboard inside her head. Then, she frowned as though noticing something out of place and held up her hand.
ちょっとストップを。
はい。
その鎮守の社は悪食島の悪霊を封じるために旅の修験者が建立した。そうでしたね。
ええ、そうでございます。強い神通力をお持ちだったということで、その力を鏡に込め、
霊境として社に奉納し、悪霊を封印した。少し違和感を覚えます。悪食島の悪霊を封印する社がどうしてベアトリーチェも封印するんです？
はあ、それはその霊境の神通力が
Maybe Beatrice is an evil spirit.
なるほど。東洋の悪霊も西洋の魔女も OK の便利な霊境だったからというわけですか。わかりました。すっきりはしませんが、そこは折れることにしましょう。しかし、どうしてベアトリーチェが蜘蛛の巣も嫌うのかわかりません。
According to the legend, the evil spirits of Akujishima despised spider webs, so they were apparently used as swords against evil in the surrounding islands. In fact, spiders are a useful bug. Very true. There's nothing strange about the fact that island farmers had treasured them. Very possible that they were then tied to the story of evil spirits and became known as charms against evil, leading to a tradition of people treating this useful bug with care through the generations.
しかしそれ、悪食島伝説の話です。そもそもベアトリーチェの魔女伝説の発祥は、この島に引っ越してきた後宮金蔵がミステリアスな黄金伝説とそれを授けた魔女という名の愛人を吹聴してから始まったものです。
Wasn't there something about him, like, selecting this island because it was tied to Beatrice in some way?
つまり、悪食島の悪霊と黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェは本来、全く異なる存在のはずなんです。なのに、設定が同じになっています。
さてはて。
The evil spirits of Akujima couldn't stand spider webs, and neither could Beatrice. That sort of reasoning has been applied all over the place. When it was pointed out that this was strange, Kumasawa was lost for an answer.
金蔵さんの書斎のドアノブはサソリの魔法陣が描かれていて、それは西洋魔術では魔除けを意味する。だから西洋魔女のベアトリーチェはドアノブに触れられない。これは理解できるんです。でも蜘蛛の巣に限ってはベアトリーチェが嫌う理由がありません。私の知る限りでも西洋魔女の苦手なものに蜘蛛の巣があったという記憶はありません。むしろ蜘蛛は魔女の仲間や眷属では？
はあ。
思うに、悪食島伝説の悪霊と魔女伝説のベアトリーチェ、この2つの異なる伝説が少し混交しているように思います。いいえ、混交どころか融合かもしれません。悪食島伝説は 六軒島周辺の暗礁を恐れた漁民たちが生み出したおとぎ話。しかし悪食島に住まう悪霊が伴っていませんでした。人なのか怪物なのか、はたまた足のない幽霊なのか、さっぱりイメージがありません。人はビジュアルを伴わない空想を苦手とします。魔女の伝説が登場した。悪霊よりは魔女の方が想像しやすい存在です。しかもその上、金蔵さんはベアトリーチェの肖像画を描かせ掲示しました。
Only recently, though.
つまり悪食島伝説の一番の弱点、たたる悪霊のビジュアルイメージが初めて保管されたわけです。そこからいつの間にか2つの伝説が混じり合っていってしまったのではないでしょうか。
The Akuji Kishima have any relation with butterflies?
どうでございましょうね。ほっほほほほ。この老いぼれには少し難しい話にございます。
Why is Beatrice connected with butterflies? Kumasar laughed to smooth it over, wiping away a cold sweat. She must have seemed confused, but she actually did understand what Erika was saying. True, she'd been vaguely aware of how the legend of Akuji Kishima, which had been around before Ushimi Kinza had come to Rokkenjima, and the legend of the Golden Witch, the story of the woman who had given Kinzo a vast quantity of gold, had both transformed. She didn't want to acknowledge it, but she knew. The setting where Beatrice hated the spirit mirror and spiderwebs, this had been based off of the ancient legend of Akishima. The evil spirits part of the legend had just been replaced by the witch of the portrait.
もし黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェを自称する人物がいたとして、彼女が本当にクモの巣を嫌うのかどうか、ぜひ聞いてみたいものです。触れるとどうなるんでしたっけ。
魔女の眷属はクモの巣に触れるとやけどを負うそうですから、多分そうなるんじゃないかと。
いいじゃないですか、それ。見事な魔女裁判です。クモの巣に触れてやけどするならば、それは悪霊の方であって魔女ではない。
Yeah, I mean, it could also be something like if she can turn into a butterfly, she doesn't like spiderwebs because sometimes she could get caught in a spiderweb. But if she's in human form, then like spiderwebs don't impact her the same way, but still doesn't like spiderwebs. That would be a possibility.
そして触れても何も起こらないのであれば、ただの人間であることの証。
Not necessarily.
つまりやけどしようがしなかろうが、黄金の魔女など存在しないという証になります。魔女伝説なんて所詮悪食島伝説が装いを変えただけの焼き直しに過ぎないのです。ただ伝説がそこにあるだけで、フルドエリカはこの程度の推理が可能です。
Yeah. Erika. What are we to do with you?
いかがです、皆様方。
Though only the two of them were in the lounge, Erika faced in the direction an invisible audience would have been, and shrugged. And just as Erika imagined, the targets of her comments actually were there, listening in.
クモの巣ですか。 触れるとやけどを？
When Beato Viola snapped her fingers, a graceful silver spider slipped down from the ceiling, hanging by a transparent thread. Afterwards, only a single silver strand remained. Timidly, Beato stretched her finger out towards the spider's string. Then she touched it. And nothing happened.
平気です。
平気なのか？
Beato Viola lifted up a white pale finger, and after showing it to her little sister, she traced the silver string with it. There was a stench like a single hair being burnt. Once again, she held her finger up in front of Beato, who was stunned. There was a thin burn line, as though someone had traced across it with a razor.
これはどういうことですか？
わらわが聞きたい。
So these are different parts of the legends that will become the witch.
どうしてそなたは平気なのか？
The original part, well, the original Beato part wouldn't be affected by the spiderweb, but the whatever it's called, pre-existing legend is. And eventually these two different legends will be merged together into one being.
わかりません。むしろ逆に、どうしてお姉様が蜘蛛の巣に触れるとやけどをするのかわかりません。
わからぬ。わらわが自らの存在を意識した時からそういうことになっていた。
では、お姉様は。
Beato hesitated. However, her question was clear.
違う。わらわは悪食島の悪霊などではない。わらわは六軒島の夜を支配する魔女ベアトリーチェである。どうしてこの島の太古の悪霊と同じ弱点を持つのかはわらわにもわからぬ。
苦手なのは蜘蛛の巣だけですか？
エリカとやらが言うように金蔵の書斎のドアノブもダメだ。あのサソリの魔法陣はわらわを焼く。わらわにとって金蔵の書斎の扉を開けようとするのは真っ赤に焼けた蹄鉄を家中に拾うも同じこと。そなたはどうか？
サソリの魔法陣ですか？
The older sister snapped her fingers again. When she did, the surrounding scene bent and twisted, and they had suddenly moved to their place in front of Kinzo's study. And there was the doorknob engraved with a scorpion magic circle.
魔術を研究するものならば、人的にも霊的にも隔絶された隠れ家が必須となる。金蔵が自らの書斎を閉ざし、このような魔除けを施したとしても不思議はない。そしてそれは困ったことに、わらわにもこうして効果がある。
Gently grasped the doorknob. As she did, a violent burning sound, unbelievably stronger than the one caused by the spiderweb, rang out.
お姉様、大丈夫ですか？手は。
Her hand had been horribly burnt, and Beato couldn't help but avert her eyes.
安心せよ。これしきすぐ治る。
Apparently, it would heal by itself if left alone. The older sister seemed to heal at an inhuman rate.
だがそなたはどうやら平気らしいな。
She timidly poked the doorknob. Nothing happened. Slowly, she touched it with her entire palm, but she felt nothing but a pleasantly cool sensation. Ooh. Alternative possibility of the two Beatrices. One is the witch spirit one, like the older sister one is the witch spirit one, and the younger one is the human one. Maybe. Who knows? Someone, probably.
不思議だ。そなたはわらわの分身であるにもかかわらず、わらわとは様々なものが異なっている。
逆にドアノブに触れても平気ですが、
Can't open it?
お姉様のような火傷を負ったら、私は簡単には治らないと思います。
まるで普通の人間のようであるな。
Oh.
はい、私自身自分が魔女だとはちょっと信じきれていません。私にはお姉様のように魔法を使うこともできないし、不思議な火傷も、そしてお父様は私を偉大なる魔女の生まれ変わりだと信じてくださいましたが、私にはそれが信じられなくて。
そなたは何者なのか。
私はベアトリーチェ。お父様のために生まれてきました。お姉様は？
わらわもまたベアトリーチェ。金蔵に魔法にて黄金を授け、その後も魂となって島に縛り付けられている体を失った魔女である。
私たちは
Am I?
一体何者なんでしょう。
わらわと違い、そなたは体を持つ存在のように見える。
え？そうなんですか？
あのエリカとやらの話を聞いて、わらわはふと思った。魔女であり魔法が使えるが体を持たぬわらわと、そして魔女であるが魔法は使えず肉の体を持つそなた。わらわたちはやがて一つになり、掛け合った部分を埋め合って本当のベアトリーチェとして完成されるのではないだろうか。
Seemed to make sense. Both of Beatrice's were missing something. They became one, then they would surely be very close to a Beatrice that Battler desired.
試してみるか。
What if there's a third one they need?
え？
Of a third piece of a puzzle.
手を出せ。
The older sister slowly raised her palm and held it out before Beato. Large burn from a second ago really had started to heal already.
わらわたちは一つになれるかもしれぬ。わらわも知りたい。そなたと一つになることで未来のわらわを知りたい。
Beato also raised her hand slowly. Two hands touched. But nothing happened. Perhaps this meant that, while they were fated to become one eventually, that time had not yet come yet. But
わらわにとって雲の巣が苦手なのは当たり前なこと。しかしそなたはそれを知りもしなかった。同様にそなたは自分が生まれてきた理由をお父様のためだという。そのお父様というのはどうやら後ろ宮バトラのことらしい。わらわも年に数度しか訪れぬ稀な客人である彼のことは知っているが、その稀な客人の彼とそなたというわらわにどのような接点があるのか理解できぬ。わらわたちは互いをもっと知るべきに違いない。
そうですね。私たちは互いを知り合うことで本当に大切なことに至れる気がします。
その向こうにいるのが一なる未来のベアトリーチェ。いや、それこそがわらわたちのあるべき正しい姿に違いない。
Okay, well, it's a single future Beatrice, as opposed to the single future Beatrice. With her hands still joined, the two Beatrices swore to fill in the parts the other lacked, and regained their single form. Bit by bit, Beata was walking down the path that led to the former Beatrice. Already starting to get a pretty big clock. Magic of a different interpretation. 11, basically. Is this the same room being stuck in? I could hear the eerie sound of wind and rain. Once again, I hazily regained consciousness on top of the bed. The finger that the witch had bitten off was attached to my hand. That's not to say that it was all an illusion. My finger was now attached. After all, the pain and the teeth marks as though the witch had bitten it were still there. And yet, the window which I had supposedly smashed had been fixed as though it had never been broken in the first place. How can I escape from this creepy room? Why am I locked up in this eerie room, all alone? What if you're not all alone? I want to get out. I have to get out. Please, let me out. The door was sealed with a firm chain. Animation? Yep. I could open it a crack, but only enough to peek out into the corridor at best. Even getting just a fist through would probably be hard. The window wouldn't budge either. It was no better than a barred prison window. The bathroom didn't even have a window. The only thing that could get out of there was the water that flowed out if you turned on the tap. No matter what I do, I can't think of a way out of here. I'll shut up in a place like this. I truly am a prisoner. Unless someone comes from outside to save me, I won't be able to get out for all eternity. In that case, can't I just call for help? Yes, the tiny gap I can make in that door must exist so I can call for help. But can I make the words come out? Earlier I tried to call out for help. For some reason, the words couldn't escape my mouth. Maybe I was just confused. I might have lost my voice in my haste and confusion. I'll open the door and make that crack appear one more time. The warm light of the hallway flowed in, making the darkness of the room stand out all the more. Though I couldn't hear any voices, I did feel something peaceful. I'm sure everyone's in the room at the other end of the hallway, chatting happily about something. I can just call out. Surely someone will come to save me. Holding back some indescribable fear, I tried yelling once more. What loud, silent shouts. But the result was the same. It was like trying to yell underwater. All I did was get out of breath, unable to call out in the slightest. Even though I could say as much as I wanted if I just grumbled to myself inside the room. Whenever I tried to make my voice reach outside, I choked and was unable to say anything. I understand. My body isn't the only thing locked up in this eerie closed room. My voice is too. Thinking that I could use some other kind of sound to call for help, I tried opening and closing the door violently, making the chain rattle. It does sound as though it's clanking noisily, but it's surely no good. Even this sound is being locked inside this closed room. No matter how harsh the sound I make, I'm sure it will be quieter than a leaf falling by the time it reaches the other side of the other end of the corridor. I tried using the hateful chain that sealed the door to make a sound to call for someone. That only deepened my despair. Chain? It's insane. Just a second ago, it was a stiff chain that looked like it might be used to seal a monster away. At some point, it transformed into a normal chain lock. Changes everything. Now I can just undo it from the inside. Tried to undo it, but the chain wasn't long enough for that while the door was still open a crack. I couldn't get it off. Obviously. Calm down. I gulped and calmly closed the door. Then, when I saw that the chain had slackened enough, touched it with my finger to make sure. When I was little, I hated chains, because I could never get them undone right. However, that was a long time ago. Now I can undo something like this. Anyone could. It's easy. Thank. I imagined the demon who'd locked me in this room, using this as a trap to give me hope, just to make me despair even more. But I pushed those thoughts aside for the time being. I undid the chain lock. The chain dangled there right before my eyes. Now, there's no lock sealing this door. Please, don't torment me anymore and just open normally. Slowly, the door opened. To what kind of horror? When I closed the door to undo the chain, the warm light from the hallway got cut off. If I open this again, what if that warm light is gone this time? I was even afraid of stuff like that. However, that was just me over-imagining things. I'm sure it is. Slowly, quickly? No, I guess this is normal for a door. The door let out an annoying creak. The exit from this cursed, closed room finally opened. Ah, I did it. I did it. Even my cry of joy was strangled. That doesn't matter anymore. All that matters is that I can get out. You've just gone from one locked room into a larger locked room. I poked my head out and looked left and right down the corridor. Warm corridor. I could sense people having fun at the other end. Everyone's right there. Let's go. Right now. Yeah? Oh. At that moment, something cold and heartless crushed my throat. It was as though an iron loop had been fastened around my neck and pulled on hard from behind. No, not as though. Without my knowing, at some point, a thick metal collar had been fastened around my neck. When did this happen? When I turned around, I despaired even more. From the inner side of the door I had just opened, a thick chain had extended and attached itself to this collar I was wearing. I pulled on it, but it didn't even budge. When I shook it, the whole door creaked. What the hell? The chain that connected to my collar was attached to the inner side of the door. Yes, the same vanishing chain that had secured the door a short while back had suddenly become a chain holding me in place. That's insane. That's insane. What's going on here? I pulled with all my strength, trying to tear the whole door off. But I already knew from repeated experiments that it wouldn't even budge. I'm sure this chain will disappear once I go back inside the room. It will never let me leave that room. Though it had apparently turned back into a normal chain lock, nothing had actually changed. Chain lock still bound me to that room. Tears flowing down my face, I pulled with all I had. It was completely useless. No matter what I did, I would never tear it loose. And I wasn't even permitted to call out for help. I felt a confused anger at how the demon had mercilessly made me think that I'd escaped for just an instant. No matter how much I yelled, no voice came out, and no one on the other end of the corridor could hear me. Then, I noticed an odd stain on the wall of the corridor. Wasn't a stain. They were letters, traced out by a finger that had been covered in red paint. Those letters, which looked like they had been drawn in blood, answered my biggest question. The chain lock must be set. You're allowed to unset it, but it must then be reset. Unless it is set, this exit of yours will be unusable. I instantly understood the meaning of that ominous message. Then I tried it out, and understood completely. When I returned to the room and reset the chain lock, the collar around my neck disappeared. When I undid the chain lock again, that heavy feeling around my neck returned. In other words, I cannot leave this room while the chain lock is still unset. In that case, why don't I just set the chain while outside the room? I undid the chain once more time. The collar and chain appeared around my neck again. I stepped out into the corridor and closed the door behind me, leaving only the slightest of cracks. I stuck my hand through that crack, grabbed the dangling chain, and tried to reset it somehow. We were unable to. Damn it. Even though it was so easy to do from the inside, why it's so hard to do from the outside? That is kind of the purpose of those chain locks, so that you can't reach it from the outside and unset it. But in any case, that's where I'm going to be ending it there for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. Until next time, we continue. See ya.